Srimati Reshma U. Raj has undergone Kuchipudi training under distinguished gurus Srimati V. Maithili, Srimati Girija Chandran, and Srimati Bijula Balakrishnan. Reshma has been fortunate to receive advanced training under Kalaratna Guru Vempati Ravishankar Garu. Currently, she is continuing advanced training under Natya Visharada Srimati Kalpana Srinivas, who is a disciple of Sangeet Natak Academy awardee Srimati A. B. Bala Kondal Rao, Padma Bhushan Dr. Vempati Chinna Satyam Garu, and Kalaratna Vempati Ravishankar Garu. Reshma is also learning Prenkini Natyam under Guru Srimati Voleti Rangamani. Reshma has received Indian President's National Balashri Award for Creative Performance in 2000, as well as the Young Talent Award for Classical Dance from the Ministry of Culture from her region, and is an empaneled artist in India World Cultural Forum. She has performed in many prestigious classical dance festivals within India and abroad.
Thank you so much for being a part of this year's online Mahotsavam. We're so happy to have you.
Hi, Maya. Thanks for inviting me. And actually, I'm very happy to be a part of ICAPS. So
Yeah,
happy.
very, very excited. Um, tell me about your artistic journey.
Yeah, actually, as in line with every other artist, actually, my artistic journey was also not that easy, I should say. Maybe I would divide that into two phases. One that would be my initial learning phase. That was actually dominated by my mother. Actually, at the age of 3.5 or 4 years of old, and I come from a family with no cultural background. So actually, she was a school teacher, and I do not know, it was her wish to make her daughter a dancer. For that, she took her pains to get me into the right hands. Actually, she searched good gurus around my house or my locality, and actually, I was put into right hands. And then, the initial phase of a body imbibing a new art form or a dance form. Those initial periods and all, no, she was a very strict mother, and she was very determined that no, I should not miss even a single dance class. Even I should say, people normally say that dance is an extracurricular activity, and it was not like that for me. Actually, dancing was everything. I used to study in between whenever I get time. In Kerala, we have the youth festivals. So actually, from a non-cultural background family, I think the Kerala youth festivals introduced me with these different kinds of dance forms and art forms. I I started knowing about Kuchipudi only from Kerala Youth Festival. So that was an integral part in learning Kuchipudi, I should say. In Kerala, what we would do is, first we learn Bharatanatyam, and once we reach a certain point, we'll take up Kuchipudi. So maybe the initial learning phase, actually it was totally fun, like any other artist, like kids and all. It was totally fun. And then I got my job, and I should say I took 2-3 years of break in between. I got my job, I got married, and I got a kid. So then again the second phase started. So in that phase, my husband was the uh, person who supported me a lot, actually. With his support, actually, that point, actually, I had learned Mohiniyattam also. I learned Bharatanatyam, Mohiniyattam, and Kuchipudi. Being a Keralite, our first choice would be Mohiniyattam. So actually, that point, I decided to take up Kuchipudi. Because I found something interesting in this art form or dance form. Actually, Kuchipudi has a very interesting capability to communicate with the audience, at least to the common audience, because it has a basic deep rooted in dance drama tradition. So actually, I love storytelling, those kind of things, and all. I would love to communicate with the audience. So I decided to take it Kuchipudi very seriously, and I decided to start learning the advanced lessons. Actually, then I would say I initially I started my learning from dance, learning from Maithili teacher, the Maithili. She was there in Trivandrum, and then Girija Chandran, I was under Girija Chandran, and Bijula Balakrishnan, she is Vempati Chinnasatya Master Garu's disciple only. And after that, and I just wanted to see, learning an art form is not just the steps or the items or nothing. Actually, I wanted to learn the culture also. See, Kuchipudi, the name itself, it's not the dance form. There is a culture. It's dominated by the culture. So I wanted to be in that culture. I wanted to know that culture. So I wanted to be in right hands to have my advanced studies. So actually, I had the blessings to be under Kalaratna Shri Vempati Ravishankar for a quite amount of time. And actually, I should say that was a turning point of my life, including my artistic life. Actually, the way I looked at the art forms, I not only learned the technical aspects of the dance form, but also, the determination, the sincerity, the loyalty. There are many other beautiful aspects which helps us to be a better human being. Those all things actually I learned from the Vempati style. After his sad demise, I wanted to follow the same tradition or the same teaching methodologies. So actually, I was fortunate to be taking up my advanced lessons from Srimati Kalpana Srinivas, Natya Visharada Srimati Kalpana Srinivas. So I'm having the same teaching methodologies. I have the same culture. I embrace that culture also along with this dance form. So actually, myself as an artist, my mother, my family, and definitely my gurus are there to who define me as an artist.
Thank you. Um, you mentioned you've learned multiple dance forms. Um, how was it kind of going? Was it kind of a progressive thing where you start with one and then go to the next, or were you parallelly learning, you know, two or more at the same time?
Yeah, actually, in Kerala, what we do is, initial phase of dancing would be on the Bharatanatyam, because I do not know why, but it is a systematic way of learning there. At first, we'll have some fundamentals, we'll reach up to a point. Maybe I started learning dance when I was 3.5 years old. Till 6 years of age, I was learning Bharatanatyam. Then only actually I started getting into the other form. So then Mohiniyattam actually, it was a parallel kind of thing. I was learning it parallelly. So that was a sort of learning I had.
And then, at what point did you start learning Kuchipudi?
Actually, it was, unknowingly only. Actually, it was not my choice. Uh, my teacher introduced me into Kuchipudi. But later on, no, when I recognized that maybe I had that slight element of Kuchipudi style in me when compared to the other art forms, and when people started telling me, okay, yeah, when you are doing Kuchipudi, you have that essence of Kuchipudi. I also started noticing myself. So then I had I said two choices, Mohiniyattam and Kuchipudi. Then I had to deeply look into what I am looking forward to as an artist. My personal interest then came up, and then I personally had my interest on Kuchipudi.
I know the three forms each have very different, um, I guess, there obviously there's similarities, but the vocabulary and the approach to how to interpret a song and the culture and everything for the three forms come from very different um, places, both from a geographic perspective and the history, right? Did that play into how you experienced each of those? Because you touched on the culture for Kuchipudi earlier, so
Yeah, actually, I should say one more thing. In my childhood days, actually, I have seen Kuchipudi Art Academy's performances in Swati Tirunal Sangeeta Sabha. Actually, I had a great crush on the artists who are performing there, and that time, my childhood onwards, actually, my greatest wish was to meet Ravi Master, actually. So maybe that also had influenced me to learn this art form. See, the culture came only when I got to know it very closely.
Hmm.
Then I started knowing, actually, I started learning, well, the history of Kuchipudi. Then, see, I now feel that, no, I am so much privileged. I am very much lucky to learn this age old tradition. I do not call them dancers. Actually, they are historians. Actually, they have put in their heart and soul into this art form. Actually, whenever I learn a new item, now Kalpana ma'am teaches me a new item, actually, I'm really afraid because, those choreographies have been done, uh, that, actually, it is very authentic, that, I feel fear to learn those, because, how much dedication I can put into those items and all, no? So actually, it is a privilege for me to learn this, to be a part of this great Indian performing arts tradition. And also, even if we can say that these three art forms are from three different, I mean, parts of India. See, years ago, actually, you can see some movements in Mohiniyattam and all. No? Some movements we can see some similar movements from Kuchipudi. So those things are also there, actually.
Yeah.
So actually, I performed Mohiniyattam and Kuchipudi also, but I can say that, no, there are many similarities between Mohiniyattam and Kuchipudi. But from, a fresher or a person seeing it for the first time, he or she might see that it is different, entirely different. One is a soothing one, and the other is a vibrant one. But the thing is, we are dancing, we can know the movements, or the limb movements here and all. No? That is there in Mohiniyattam also. Maybe we do not know the people traveled across all the ways that times. Maybe that magical touch.
Um, how did you work through the language? Because obviously with Kuchipudi, a lot of the um, you know, with Telugu being the language for many, not obviously it's for a large subset of Kuchipudi
Yes,
repertoire
yes,
like that.
yes, sure. So actually, that I think the guru teacher plays an important role. See, that is where it is actually, we need to be in the right hands for that. So if you're not in the right hands, we will not know what we are doing. We'll just mimic. So if we are in right hands, the first thing a teacher will explain the lyrics to us. She will say, when I'm learning a new item, what my teacher does is, no, she explains what this theme is about and who is the composer, everything, the ragam, the thalam, everything. And she also specifies, she also tells me how it was choreographed. She speaks about the choreography also. So not only the composition, but also the choreography. So actually, that's how we learn it in the right way. Those language and all, no? See, in between, my teacher speaks to me in Telugu. Maybe I do not understand all of it, but I started understanding a bit of Telugu now also, which is very important. Like, and also when I've watched us, even Master Garu, he has done or choreographed for other languages also, dance, because actually, it's not a hindrance. The language is not a hindrance. Even if I, one of the items I'm performing here, it's in Swati Tirunal's Kriti. Actually, it is composed by Swati Tirunal. Actually, Ravi Master had a choreograph for that item also, that composition also. Actually, they took care that, they wanted this dance form to be flourished across the globe. So that is the pain they had taken. Language is nothing. Actually, it's not at all a hindrance to me. Actually, or we'll communicate. Dance itself is a communicating language, right? No, actually, it's quite easy.
That's wonderful. Um, how did you decide that? Um, I guess a little bit of why and how did you decide that dance was what you were gonna kind of pursue? Because often what we see, many of us, we start learning young. We spend 10 years, 12 years, 14 years focused and going to dance classes, and then when we finish our primary education and we're looking at college and higher studies and job, it many people find it hard to keep it up, right? So how did you navigate that and come to the decision that this is something that you want to keep doing beyond your early education?
Actually, people of my generation, actually, especially in Kerala, they had the difficulty to take up their passion as a profession because, their family will not allow us to take it very seriously. To a certain extent, you see, even my mother, she was that supportive. And when it came to a job, actually, I was asked to take that job. So what happened is I took the job, but it's all about we finding time for our passion. See, when a working woman, I am working in TCS, so a working woman plus a family woman. Actually, it's very difficult. It's really a difficult without the support of our family. We cannot do anything because it's our happiness. Everything it depends on our family only. So without their support, we cannot do anything. If they are supportive, I should know they needs to be supportive. So if they are supportive, we can find time for ourselves. See, when compared to the earlier generation, what I have seen is my mother and all, no, they were entirely working for their children. So they were not taking care of themselves also. But now this generation has turned out to be like this, so they spend some time for themselves also. Actually, it's very important. So for me also, I spend some time for my passion. I have a kid. I teach my child that I am important. I am an individual. I need some time for myself. So he sees that, and actually it becomes a habit for him. Unknowingly, he is also learning a new culture. I need not teach him everything, but no, he gradually he is also picking it up. So, with the support of family, I should say, with the support of family, actually, we can do things. The only thing is, we need to prioritize. See, if that passion, that is what is known as passion. So if there is a passion, we will definitely able to do that, and rest will follow.
Yes. How did you how did it become something that, okay, my mom is sending me to class, to this is something I'm passionate about? Can you talk about the how that was it a slow realization? Was there a light bulb moment? How did that um, happen?
Actually, since it was a very early stage, unknowingly, actually, I was into this dance form. So, at 3.5, 4 years old, actually, I do not even remember my first dance class, but it was all fun for me. You see, it all depends on how the teacher teaches you. You see, teaching a child and teach advanced learning is different. So, I had all my friends there. It was a fun learning, and so unknowingly, actually, I like my mother tongue. I imbibe this language unknowingly. And after that only, when a point came where actually, when I also realized that, it is inseparable from me, I am going to take this towards my lifetime. So then only I became more responsible. The fun part is over, so I need to take it very seriously. That's how actually I took this art form.
What advice would you have for students of the arts, whether it's dance, whether it's music, who are, in their teens and then trying to figure out what role art has in their life?
Yeah, actually, from my experience, I would say, learning anything in the right hands is very important. Maybe I do not know, maybe the parents should be aware of these things, when they are finding a guru, uh, foundation is a very important thing. When you are well grounded, then it is easy for you to take it up from wherever you live. Maybe in future, if you are not in touch with the art form for a couple of days or years, you can take it from wherever you stopped, if you have enough foundation. So that is very important. And then actually, I would my personal opinion would be, along with the art form, you need to learn something else. you need to be able to be a better human being also. See, the determination, so many other things we need to know. And then, you need to understand the history of anything that you are learning. See, I learned Kuchipudi. See, I need to know it is not a fun thing. Actually, years ago, many people have put in their life or a heart and soul into this art form. When I should be privileged, I should know that I'm getting something, a sort of treasure with me. I need to know how to handle that. I should not do whatever I can do with it. I should not play around with it. We need to preserve that to the next generation. See, with due respect to the legends who have worked on these art forms, we need to preserve it to the next generations. Yes, of course, preserving actually needs creation. See, everything without creation, without evolving, will not move on. So, creation should happen. If we need to create, we should be having that stuff with us. Actually, for that, we should be in a good guidance. If we are in a good under a good teacher, under a good guidance, we will be in a position to enhance this art form to the next level. So those things and all, no, I think maybe to my generation also, myself also, I think we need to be more responsible in handling this very treasure that we have with us.
Absolutely. Um, what do you have planned for your ICAPS performance?
Can you come again? I didn't hear
Uh,
it.
what items did you choose for your ICAPS performance?
Fine. Yeah, actually, I have selected Shivashtakam by Adi Shankaracharya. Actually, it was choreographed by the master Garu, Vempati Chinasatyam Garu. Actually, you do not need any introduction or description about this item. It is a universal item. So I am privileged to perform this here. And plus one item I wish to do is Pannagendra Shaina. Actually, that is a Swati Tirunal composition. Actually, it is choreographed by Shri Vempati Ravi Shankar Garu. So both these choreographies actually fall into two different categories. They have their own style of choreographing things. Actually, that's what I chose to. Maybe the Pannagendra Shaina. Actually, maybe I'll hum a bit. Um This is actually Panagendra Shaina is a Raga Malika and it's in Talam Rupakam. Mm. Panagendra Shayana Shri Padmanabha Mudakama Sannamana Samamava Sarasaya Kalochana Pannagendra Shayana. Actually, it is a very beautiful item because now it's a Virahotkantita Naika. Actually, the Naika has all the attributes of Virahotkantita. And there is a prelude. Actually, other than the composition, actually, there is a clever choreography being done in this item, actually. Uh, this composition says about Naika eagerly waiting to see Padmanabha. Actually, she is suffering she is all in suffer for her love with him. So before that, actually, Ravi Master has what has done is, he had created a prelude. So in Kuchipudi, it's a dance drama tradition, creating an ambience for the composition. So that prelude is actually, it is very important for this item also, actually. The Naika enters her chamber and sees some portraits of Lord Krishna and Gopika, and seeing those portraits, she feels, she's missing him. So she picks up one of the portrait, Padmanabha's portrait, and actually facing or addressing him, she starts singing this song. Actually, normally what we say is, actually you cannot compare it with the composition. The composition and the choreographer has actually here, has made a mark here. So that is a very beautiful composition and choreography. And the other item, I need, I need not say the universal item. Those two items I would like to perform now.
How did you um so I think from the little bit we heard, you're obviously trained in singing as well.
Yeah, actually, my mother, see, everything in my mother is responsible for that. I'm not a that good singer. Maybe a dancer should know some, should have some music sense, right? No, that music sense I have. I'm not that brilliant singer, not that sort, but I have been trained for a couple of years.
So how has your musical training been a part of when you learn a dance item, right? There's the different layers with the music and the literature and the history and so can you talk a little bit about how that has come into play?
Yeah, sure.
How you
Because the music for dance, for me, music is very, very important. Actually, when it is very important when you choreograph a piece of item. Keep on listening to one particular music. First of all, the music should be that good enough for us to dance. So when will we dance? We'll dance only when we are very happy. So the music should create that happiness, bring that happiness in us. So you know, uh, once after hearing some music, even that good music, when I keep on hearing for a lot of times, and then that when choreographing, that that triggers some pictures or images within us. It's not about creating some new steps, mixing some steps with the other. It's not like that. The music should bring in some images within us, and based on the guidance, or when we are learning the Vempati style of Kuchipudi, our teacher definitely would have guided how this choreography has happened. So we will have a thought process also. When we are seeing a dance or item, we'll definitely get to know about the thought process of the choreographer also. So we are learning the thought process of that choreography also. So everything is there in us if we are under right guidance. So just music is just a trigger. Music comes, yeah, everything happens. The images comes, and then we'll just implement according to what we have learned. So music is very, very important. See, even when dancing to other choreographies also, while performing also, yes, if the music is so soothing, our performance will be enhanced. That is the importance of music. Especially for me, without music, I cannot dance. For me, teacher should be a good musician. Luckily, Kalpana ma'am is a very good singer, so I I can.
um do you um what do you do in obviously when we're learning an item, there's the how, what's the order of the choreography, how we move our body, what the expressions are and all that, which is the um physically doing the piece, right? That what goes into physically doing it. What do you think is important to learn when you're learning any kind of new choreography in addition to the dance itself? um does that make sense?
Yeah, you're saying, when you're learning choreography, what is the approach to learn choreography? Are you asking that?
Not to learn how to choreograph, but when you're learning a new item, what do
Okay.
we need to know other than just, I think a lot of times when we're young, it's like, okay, I know the next movement, the next step, the next part of this. But when you're learning an item, what are the layers that we have to learn in addition to just how we move our body?
Yeah, that's what actually, when I'm learning a new item, actually, it is all upon the teacher. Actually, the teacher should be able to provide us with all the knowledge. Actually, it's all about, let's say, a student's duty is to find a good teacher, is what I believe. So it was not an easy journey for me to identify or be under great gurus. it didn't happen a day within a day. Actually, I had to call them multiple times. They need to be sure that okay, I can teach them, or I can teach her. So finding a good guru, if you find a good guru, everything else will happen. Say, good guru, when a good guru teaches a student, he will tell us this is a choreography, this is a thought process. And even when he choreographs or when she choreographs also, we get to know about, we are connected with the guru. It is not in words, we cannot say that it all happens. uh, Maybe after a while, no, we will also start thinking as our gurus.
That's a journey. That's another
Yeah,
journey.
definitely. Yes, yes.
Um, I know with you know the COVID-19 and the lockdown and all that, it's been strange times for most of us. Um, how have you been, are there any projects or things like that you've been working on from an artistic perspective? Um,
Yeah, COVID actually, uh, we have, it is a pandemic, but for me, lockdown period actually was fully occupied with learning, learning, learning. I had my work, definitely had my pressure. Whenever I'm stressed up, the dance classes I have regular dance classes now. So it is all the learning part now. I'm learning so much of things and new projects, in the sense, I do not equip myself to do new things, but no, when it some thoughts come to me, then I'll just implement it. Maybe it's just a simple things and all, no? Those things are happening. Then during COVID, I know actually there's an important change for artists also. Actually, from stages we are moving on to screens, so everything is getting changed. I don't know when this ends. We'll stick on to screens or we'll get back to stages completely. But I do not think we'll not be getting back to stages completely. The screen is very important now. How it is all about the audience. We find more audience in screens also. So those changes, learning, actually it is a new learning also. Actually, I need to learn the camera techniques, everything. Camera editing, everything we need to learn, new things to learn. And I think it is more of a learning phase. And every artist would be looking into ourselves, at this point of time, because we have enough time to look into ourselves, our the areas of improvement, those things and all, no, we'll be looking into. Maybe we'll utilize this very effectively and come back with more strength.
that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ameya. Thank you so much for being for inviting me, or just making me a part of this wonderful event. And it's very happy to see you people. You are living in a different country, and you are preserving this tradition. There, actually, it's very happy to see that. Actually, it's really inspiring for us, or whoever is watching this uh, Mahotsavam. It's actually really inspiring, and thanks for that.
No, thank you. I think this would not be possible if not for artists who are willing to give their time and both uh, because anything, it might be a, whatever short time that you see anyone perform, the number of hours of preparation and all that goes into it behind that is immense. So thank you for taking the time to do this with us. And the performance will be up next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, which I think is 7:30 IST. And I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Looking forward. Thank you. Thank you.